Financial planning myth busters. Within the financial services sector, there is many a myth we as financial planners and the public come across which we need to make sure is busted. So let me use the Financial Planning Institute's Financial Planning Awareness Digital Week to debunk some of these long-standing myths to allow for effective financial planning. Myth 1. Financial planners are not affordable. This is a local and international myth, especially where RDR, the Retail Distribution Review, or similar regulations have been or are being implemented, and where fee-based advice has or are becoming the norm. We in South Africa have to align ourselves with such upcoming legislation and remuneration models and drive awareness around these myths soonest. With a financial planner, you would be able to work through your budget and portfolio to see where you are spending your well-earned income and how you can allocate expenses efficiently on fixed and variable costs. There could be savings, for instance, on premiums, on policies, and medical aid without exposing yourself to risk per se. In addition, a financial planner can save you disposable income on allowable tax deductions with your tax authority. These savings can go a long way to affording the services of your financial planner. Financial planners also have various remuneration models they can put on the table to make advice affordable through hybrid remuneration models. Financial planning is not only for the wealthy. It should always be about advising people of all income groups. Because there are so many options available for paying for the advice, you should find an affordable planner out there for your own specific needs. So myth busted, as there should be no doubt that a professional financial planner should be able to add holistic value to your financial plan that will give you a handsome return on your fee investment and in many cases may not impact negatively on your current cash flow status or disposable income at all. Myth 2. All financial planners are the same. The perception that I can pick a name out of a hat or take any referral from my network and be happy that the advice I will be receiving is appropriate to my personal needs and circumstances, it's such a myth that it is scary. Why the public believe this myth is astounding, but it's very prevalent indeed. I, for one, believe it has to do with awareness around the advisor categories, but unfortunately also misrepresentation. Maybe one of the critical reasons RDR and advisor category proposal carry so much weight and contention is exactly for that reason. The bottom line is that as we have different skills, expertise, qualifications, designations, and compensation, as we observe within the medical profession, for instance, where you have fees from a general practitioner to a brain surgeon, there is different fees. We have the same within the financial planning profession. You may either decide to specialize or give holistic financial planning advice or be a product seller. Depending on such services, there would indeed be a huge difference to take note of. Therefore, finding the right planner is crucial. And no better place to go to at www.fpi.co.za to find such a planner specific to your financial needs or to check out the referral or introduction you have received. The notion that credentials are not everything and do not differentiate us could not be further from the truth. On the contrary, the letters that designate the financial planner should be considered crucial of nature depending on what you are looking for in financial advice. For example, let's take one of the best known credentials, namely the CFP that I wear proudly. The credentials would indicate that such a planner has expert financial knowledge across the broad spectrum of holistic financial planning and has passed comprehensive board exams that testability to apply theory to practical financial planning techniques and real-life situations. The pass rate is only around 40%. But let me make it clear that such credentials is not a guarantee, but purely a good indicator that you may be on the right track with your financial planner. Still, there are many great planners there with no credentials next to their names, but with years of experience you cannot buy off the shelf. So, no, all planners are not the same. And myth busted. Myth 3. Financial planning is a once-off. Financial planning is not a project with a timeline, and it certainly is not a once-off exercise on a portfolio of evidence. But unfortunately, this myth is creating advice gaps out in the financial sector and the public. Financial planning is a process and a very long-term strategy. I like to refer to it as financial life planning, as it spans over all life stages for whole life advice and planning. Good long-term financial planning will take care of life-changing events such as a career change, marital status, children additions, health issues, impact on your investment and estate and tax planning, and economic and investment environment. It will also take note of the problems in life or opportunities like dying too soon, living too long, paying too much taxes, critical illnesses, and disability concerns and other life-happen moments. Therefore, it is clear that the myth is busted, as we must take a long-term view on a process that will live with us, and therefore you need to ensure the services of a financial planner with succession planning to live for continuity to your plan. Myth 4. Financial planning must be holistic. This myth has been created more and more by legislation and regulations, and it is a concerning myth as it does create substantial advice gaps. There is no doubt that financial planning should be holistic within your complete financial plan to ensure all decisions are incorporated into your long-term financial plan and do not negatively impact as far as possible. Life, however, is not that simple, and life happens when you least expect it. Nevertheless, an experienced and qualified financial planner professional can deal with single need situations like retrenchments and preservation of fund capital, inheritance, rollover and maturing of investments, purchasing assets like a property, a testament, career change, legislation changes, and others. Such changes mentioned above could impact a financial plan and be incorporated into future financial planning progress consultations as and when required, but this is not imperative. So another myth busted that it should always be holistic of nature to be a complete financial plan to enable a planner to give advice. Financial planners are not needed for advice. Now that's a myth. One of the most dangerous myths there is within the financial services sector, and very relevant, and mostly because of the myth that advice is always expensive and unaffordable. There are lots of financial consumers out there who are very confident to make their own financial decisions. And to be honest, I've come across a couple of introductions to me where by default over many years, and especially where such prospects have been with one company for 30 years plus, have done pretty well with their financial planning and are in good space. However, when you start analyzing their plans, you and them would realize soon that the opportunity cost, which has been lost over many years, would have given them a much better plan where they could take pension at 100% of current living standard instead of 70%. And they could have been part of the 2%, therefore, who can enjoy retirement fully and not part of the 6% who can do so but with sacrifices. Such opportunity would lie with expertise a financial planner brings to the planning process, with knowledge of legislations on tax, investments, products, estates, etc., as well as ongoing education on financial planning, opportunities, and the power of compound growth with active management of your plan. There is no doubt that the planner can add 3 to 5 percentage points to your long-term plan, and this compounded over 30 years plus does make a huge difference for sure. Therefore, all financial consumers need financial planning expertise over the long term, which means the myth is busted. Myth 5. Independent financial planners, or known as IFAs, is independent. This myth has received widespread credibility over many years within our profession. It is one reason it is being addressed worldwide and in South Africa within the RDR proposals under the category of advisors. It is a myth that is abused at best by so many IFAs. And one of the reasons why the FSCA, Financial Services Conduct Authority in South Africa, in its latest round of feedback on RDR, indicated that the category IFA would possibly fall away. It may still be used as a label possibly, but we will see. In addition, the word independent in general would be redefined to ensure it cannot be misrepresented and where it could still be used as a label outside of the categories that will be licensed. There is, however, true IFAs out there, and they are financial planners who make a pure living from giving advice based on the foundation of a financial plan they draw up on behalf of the client. They then invoice the client accordingly on an hourly rate or fixed plan fee, and may even have a systematic retention fee strategy for ongoing progress consultation on such financial plans annually or during life-changing events. Such IFAs would have no interest whatsoever to sell a product or investment of any sort, apart from making a recommendation what products and investment types meet the plan's needs, but no reference to any financial services provider or advisor, and would have no referral system in place and would not be associated with any third-party juristic entity or person. This would ensure no conflict of interest or undue influences of any kind and make such a person an accurate, independent planner, and to be honest, one of the most challenging jobs out there if purely fee-based and not retention-based, as such an IFA will have to work for hard as if he does not operate within the right niche market where affordability such advice is not a problem, it will fail. Any financial planner out there who are not able to give whole market, absolutely impossible, advice and who are somewhat related to any FSP, have a consultant code or is a company hold one, and no matter if there are minimum targets on service levels or not, should not and could not refer to themselves as IFAs and therefore myth busted. The Financial Planning Institute refers first and foremost to advice as part of the financial planning process to all its members and not to product selling. That is a consequence of financial planning. They do not differentiate between restricted and non-restricted planners. And you wonder why? A consequence of good professional financial planning might be the recommendation and selling of financial products. But this should not drive the advice and financial planning process. I hope you find value from this video and share it with your network. And I hope we have debunked some financial planning myths as part of the Financial FPI Planning Week. Thank you and appreciate you watching this video.